You know, one of the hottest new movements on Twitter is hashtag UnfollowAMan. Here's how it works. You find a man on your Twitter feed that just kind of maybe drives you nuts with bad opinions or something, and you just unfollow him. It's that simple. Jay tweeted, just unfollowing a bunch of men, finally. Hashtag UnfollowAMan. This movement was created by Katie Natopoulos. She's a staffer at BuzzFeed, and she is here. Hey, Katie, how you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Good. Of course. What made you decide that this was something you had to do?
Well, I initially did it sort of as an experiment for something to write about for BuzzFeed. I had this idea of, what would it be like if I unfollowed all men on Twitter? And I thought I was just going to do it for like a month and then I would write about it. But I ended up doing it for about 6 months. And I'll tell you, I feel great.
What? But you mean it's freeing?
It is. I think part of it is that, if you've been on Twitter for a couple years, like I have, you've kind of been following the same people for a long time. And it's nice to just sort of shake up your timeline a little bit and follow a whole new set of people.
I gotcha. Okay. So let's talk about the 5 tips you have if you want to, say, clean up your feed, so to speak, the way that you have done so. First of all, you say we need to click carefully. What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Well, the unfollow button on Twitter is really buggy for some reason. I think they don't actually want you to unfollow people. And so what would happen was sometimes I would click it and nothing would happen. So I would click it again. And then all of a sudden I'd realize that I had actually refollowed the person. So I had actually sent them the notification that I had followed them. So, I just sort of wanted to quietly do this and not alert people that I was unfollowing them. But now they're getting an email. So just be careful of that.
Right, yeah, because I read that it took you 3 hours to unfollow 361 men. And that's a long time.
It weirdly takes a really long time.
Wow, okay. So if you're going to do this, you got to be committed to it. Secondly, make a list of your unfollowed men. Why do we want to do that?
Yeah. Well, I figured that maybe I would want to go back to them and refollow them sometime in the future. But I wanted to remember who they were because I figured, well, if I just unfollow them, I won't remember who all these people were. And also, I used the list. I kept it private so that, other people can't see it. But sometimes I use TweetDeck and I put it in a column, and so I can look at them and I can check in on them and see what's going on.
Good thinking. Okay, the third one, it says use judgment when determining who's a man. Now,
right.
On one hand, it sounds funny. On the other hand, to men, it probably sounds offensive. But explain to us what you mean by this.
Well, there's sort of a broad spectrum of people who identify as a lot of different things that you'll see on Twitter. And, so I sort of made the policy of I would unfollow a trans man, but I would keep a trans woman. And then there was sort of these weird edge cases, like I follow someone who's a furry who identifies as a genderqueer horse. And so I figured, I'll keep them because they're not identifying as a man.
All right. Makes sense. And Katie, we've run out of time, but I want to at least get your other 2 in there. One, you say be considerate of feelings of unfollowed men, because I know that you were confronted by several. And 2, you want to tell them, look, I unfollowed all men because you don't want to offend anybody. And secondly, you say follow some new women. Again, to kind of shake up your Twitter feed and see if you're getting bored with it, if there's something new out there that might catch your eye. So thank you so much, Katie. We appreciate it. Katie Natopoulos here from BuzzFeed. Good to see you today.
Thank you.
Sure.